Okay, I think it's. I think I'm accurate in saying that this guy was a nurse. I think that's accurate. We went off into another little room there, adjacent to the procedure rooms, and he asked me loads of sort of medical, history type questions, routine stuff. He took my oxygen levels, my heart rate, my blood pressure, and also did with a miraculous machine, a pinprick and a spot of blood, a clotting test, which seemed to be particularly important. A lot of people were badgering him for the results of this test. That was all run of the mill stuff. Until we got to this issue about my intention to, after the procedure, just eventually recover and get in a taxi and go home. That caused him a bit of a problem. Anyway, I finished the thing with him, and still in the little room. The main doctor, as I'm going to call him, the man who was going to do the procedure, came in with his second. I don't know if the guy was training or if it was just number two, but God and his number two came and spoke to me, give me a run through of very businesslike. Give me a run through of the procedure and what they were intending to do. They even told me, all of the drugs that I was going to have, but I can't remember. But that all came to a grinding halt again when it came to this issue about what was going to happen when I had recovered. And they were not happy about the fact that I was simply going to get in a taxi. In fact, they were not going to have it. I forget what options I was actually given. But they were erring on the side of saying that they were going to cancel the entire procedure. They would call me back in at some other time and would have to have me in hospital overnight. And I just, no way, no flipping way. So it was agreed that I would make frantic phone calls in an attempt to get somebody to come and collect me, at which point they would then, go ahead with the procedure. So I was holding everything up. I had to go dashing out with my mobile phone. I couldn't get a signal in the place. I had to go dashing outside with the mobile phone. And in desperation, I called Nigel, who was bear sitting, and quite literally said, to hell with bear, get in a taxi and get here for midday to pick me up. Or get me mother, or do whatever you got to do to get here for midday. And Nigel was brilliant on the phone. He just sort of said, yeah, okay. No problem. So I assumed Nigel was going to do whatever he had to do for me to be collected by somebody. And I dashed back in and pretty much was straight into the procedure room. I was put on a sort of a bed, if you will, a trolley. The two nurses, this guy and a lady, tending to me. The God's number two came and put one of these taps in a vein in the back of my hand. The first attempt failed. That's why I got a bit of a bruise here, and he managed to get it into a smaller vein, and no problem there. And some fluid was put in there. At some point here. I'm trying to remember the sequence here. At some point, the God was behind me, and his number two was tending to the tap and the syringe here, and the nurse was over here doing something, and the other nurse was there writing details on a wall chart of what was happening. And they kind of clicked into, it was noticeable to me, it was delicious. They clicked into business. They just started doing what they do. And it was just wonderful to hear the business-like way that, this guy said something and this woman wrote something on the board and this guy said something and the response was here, and it was business. Wonderful, delicious. Okay, at some point, I had false teeth, a complete set of false teeth. At some point, I took my false teeth out and they were put in a pot, and the nurse put it over here with all my stuff that was behind me over here. And God came and raised up the trolley I was on so that I was at a level that he could deal with. The lights were dimmed. There was a screen here and a screen here of what the bronchoscopy camera was going to show. And I thought, oh Christ, yeah, I'll be able to sit here and watch this. You know, I was extremely uptight and nervous, not happy. But I thought, well, you know, at least I'll be able to watch television here. I'll be able to see exactly what's going on. Right, God came and sprayed, and he, you know, they told me beforehand they would be spraying this stuff in the back of my throat to deaden the sensation in my throat, and it would taste like bananas, and sure enough it did. He sprayed that once, he sprayed it twice, and you know, and then I had difficulty swallowing, but they all assured me when I sort of said that, that, oh yeah, you can still swallow, it's just that you can't feel it. It was an unpleasant sensation, believe me. It was equally unpleasant when I then had, I think it was God who did it, some gel, some sort of desensitizing antiseptic gel pushed up into both nostrils, and I was supposed to sniff that in as they did it. That was you know, equally unpleasant, but you know, tolerable. So there I am, and you know, they're all getting into business mode, and it was all very impressive, and there I am starting to have difficulty swallowing and feeling not too happy. And then I was back in the recovery room. The tap was out of my hand, that was all gone. My false teeth were back in my head, and I was feeling quite happy. Not happy, I was just quite happy. I was just, you know, back in the recovery room feeling okay. And that's all I've got. Somehow, whatever they administered, this sedative, has completely eliminated any memory of that period of time. What magic, what absolute bloody marvellous magic. So there I was, feeling, you know, a bit uncomfortable with all this stuff in my nose and everything, and then a complete transition. It's not like there's a blank memory. I'm simply back in the recovery room, and no memory whatsoever of any of the unpleasant procedure that went on there. Now, I must have been fully awake and answering to orders, if you will, and instructions. I must have been, for me to subsequently find myself on the trolley with my false teeth in, because I must have put them back in at some point myself. So, yeah, what is it like? What's that date rape drug one has heard of? It must be something like that. You know, you're kind of able to function and conscious and all of that, and yet later on, no recollection of what happened whatsoever. Absolute magic, absolutely incredible. I am so impressed by that, I cannot tell you. And how they managed to eliminate from that point to that point so precisely, so that, you know, 1 minute I'm feeling a little bit of discomfort, and the next minute I'm just in the recovery room feeling absolutely fine. Sat on the trolley in the recovery room for a short period of time before, you know, I was quite capable of walking into another room where I was given coffee and bourbon biscuits.
Usually the messages to Nigel, who's hopefully heading here in a taxi. I am absolutely fine. I could have flipping driven home. But I'm drinking coffee and eating bourbon biscuits, or will be very shortly. I'm waiting for, hopefully, Nigel to call from outside.
And I was quite happy to stand there looking out the window, waiting for the taxi with Nigel and Bear to arrive. I texted them on my mobile in that room, and they confirmed they were on their way.
This is infuriating. I probably could have walked out of here and just got on a bus. Alright, I could drive. I think I am in a fit state to drive, I really do. Theoretically, whatever taxi they might be in, I should be able to see it driving past here.
I actually saw Bear and Nigel in the taxi arriving outside. Eventually told the nurse that, you know, they were here to collect me. I think there was a little bit more form filling, something. I think it was as we were doing the final. The nurse was doing the final sort of ticking off and signing stuff things immediately prior to me getting out into the taxi. I think it was then that he suggested that they'd not found any sort of big cancerous lump, and it looked as though it was an infection. So I don't think he would have said that if it wasn't accurate. So yeah, it looks as though whatever I've been through is not a cancer. It's I won't say just an infection because I thought I was dying, but yeah. I suppose one has to be optimistic about what I may subsequently get told. We shall see. We shall see. He escorted me out, made absolutely certain that I was handed over to somebody, which was basically, Bear and Nigel. So that was that. Absolutely incredible. I was so not looking forward to that, and that was how it turned out. Just a complete absence of memory. Incredible. I'm so full of praise. What I'm concerned about actually is, I hope I was okay towards them whilst I was, undergoing the procedure. I hope I didn't do anything which was inappropriate. I'm so sorry that I didn't get to say thank you to them. Just amazing, just amazing. So if I ever have to have that done again, I will not be so worried. And if anybody else is watching this, who's liable to undergo the procedure, have no worries. You will likely have an experience like I've had. They are obviously well skilled at what they do. Gods, absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. So that was it. Amazing.
Well, nice of it not to rain for a bit.
It's just every day, isn't it? Every day it's been raining.
Okay, just for the record, I am now fully recovered. I've had a sandwich and some crisps and biscuits, and I am going to go and have a lie down for a bit. What was the upshot of all that happened this morning? The upshot was, did I say that on camera at any point? The upshot was, it is looking like some weird infection. I think I was told that it was there was no sign of no overt sign of any sort of cancerous growth there. So it does look like some weird infection. So I'm just sitting tight now, waiting for the next hurdle, which will be in about a week's time, where I go in and chat to somebody and get told whatever I'm going to get told about the results of what they found from what samples they took today and the blood tests, and I presume they'll be telling me an actual diagnosis on the 11th. I think it was the 11th. Anyway, I think we are going to go and have a lie down for a bit, mate. Because we did not get much sleep, either of us, did we? We were going to have an afternoon nap.